And if you don't know where to start, it can be overwhelming, even paralyzing. So let's fix that. Welcome to Simply Cyber, a community of tens of thousands of aspiring and active cybersecurity professionals focused on networking, knowledge sharing, and professional development. I'm Dr. Gerald, Auger, Chief Content Creator at Simply Cyber, inviting you to get the answers to your cybersecurity problems with hundreds of cybersecurity videos answering your frequently asked questions, interviewing industry experts, and live streaming daily cyber threat briefings hosted by me. Now get the stories and insights you won't find anywhere else. Hit subscribe now and dig into all the fresh content on the channel and in the community. Nothing should stop you from launching and leveling up your cybersecurity career today. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Today is Friday. Whoop, whoop, whoop. May 10th, 2024, episode 619 of Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief. I am happy to say I am your host, Dr. Gerald Auger, and over the next 45 minutes, me, you, Marcus Kyler of the Yeet Crew, Phil Stafford from RSA, Hangovers, CJ out in Vegas, Jesse Johnson pacing with the 7-year-old, Jay, Ian, Michelle, and the Carl emote. We got folks over on LinkedIn like Jenny Roberstead and Nightbot, kind of. Sinfulest, Flakinator, guys, so many wonderful people, first-timers, long-timers. Deb Wigley in chat later on, CatGPT with the blue badge, Roseman RT, Team SC coming at you hot, James McQuiggan with 35,000 feet, Seat 3C. Guys, we're all going to be shredding the top cybersecurity news stories of the day, and I'll be giving my expert opinion and analysis on each of those stories on what it means to you as a practitioner. So how can you use this information to drive cyber risk reduction for your business stakeholders? And it's great value for kind of macro level strategic thinking. So you can deliver cyber risk reduction transactionally, like, oh, I'm going to tune this thing, or I'm going to patch that thing. Or you can do long-term things like, oh, we're seeing a downtick in ransomware, but an uptick in business email compromise. Maybe I should focus my Q3 awareness training program around business email compromise, huh? Next level thinking right here. And if you're looking to break into the industry, settle in, my friend, because there is going to be massive value for you as well up in this stream, because we're going to be covering the top topics, concepts. There's like an ebb and flow to our industry, and you will be asked in any interview, how do you stay current on the industry? Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Briefing is a really good answer to that question, believe me. Plus, the networking is just exceptional. Also, I just noticed I did this, which is not a hand gesture I typically do, and it makes me think of Run the Jewels. Run the Jewels? That's like a modern deep cut. All right, let's go. Before we get into it, I want you to know I do not prep or research for any of these streams, so you're getting me raw, rugged, and live, and that's the deal, because let's be honest, that's where it's at. Sinful is getting the blue badge. Welcome to the party, pal. All right, so before we dig into it, Matthew Netchie, 23 months, coming in hot. Thank you, Matthew, for the support. Hey, listen, before we dig into the show, I'd love to share the stream sponsors with you and let you know all about Barricade Cyber Solutions. Barricade Cyber Solutions is dedicated to helping businesses from cyber attacks and recover from the damage done. Cyber attacks can cause massive issues for businesses. I'm talking.
Catch me outside. How about that?
But in addition, it can send dedicated, hardworking business owners into turmoil. Not good. But you know, the good thing is Barricade Cyber Solutions, Eric Taylor, Chief Forensics Officer, Casualty Joseph, his second in command, they know how to mitigate the damage done by cyber incidents. They know how to yeet threat actors out the environment. They can help you mark it down, save it for later, whatever you got to do. You do want to have this information in the event of emergency. Check them out at barricadecyber.com. Links in the description. Also, I want to say shout out and love to Delete Me. I know many of you are aware that we've been pushing the Delete Me. I have been using the service. Many of you in chat have been using the service. Let me just tell you really quickly, guys. I got to throw up a lower third. Listen, I exist publicly. I'm on, YouTube and LinkedIn. My face is all over the place, so I'm hyper aware of safety and security. And unfortunately, it's really easy to find personal information on people online. Hello, OSINT, line 1. All the data is out on the internet, and it can have real-life consequences. I recently found a solution, and the service is called Delete Me. It's a subscription service that removes your personal info from the largest people search databases and anywhere else you find it, because you can ask them to do that. And in the process, helps prevent potential ID theft, doxing, and phishing. And when you sign up, this is the cool part. Delete Me, you tell them what data you want deleted, and they just take care of it, right? It's like a managed service. And you get a personalized privacy report monthly to tell you what they found, what they're removing, kind of like reporting into you like you're the executive at the business of protecting your data. Take control of your data today and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me, now at the special discount rate for Simply Cyber listeners. The only way to get 20% off, right? Or today, get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber and use promo code simplycyber at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber and enter code simplycyber at checkout. joindeleteme.com/simplycyber. Shout out to them. Thanks for sponsoring. Also Antisyphon, but more about them at the mid-roll. Guys, it is Friday, which means it's James McQuiggan's Joke of the Week, or Grayson's Joke of the Week, presented by James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet. It's quite a mouthful. We got some great knee slappers dad jokes for you, so stay tuned for that. Reminder, every episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is worth one half of a CPE. One half of a CPE. So say, what's up in chat, hashtag Team SC, like I'm going to do right now. Team SC, grab a screenshot, file it away. Once a year, count how many screenshots you have and divide by 2. That's it. There's no magic to it, right? So, hey, really quickly, Gabe Lister, I think, says, how much is Delete Me? I think it's $20 a month, full price. You can get the 20% off discount, which I think would make it $16 a month. You'll have to fact check me on that. Like I said, I've been using it for a couple months now, and I enjoy it. All right, guys. Hey, final, before we get into the news. If it's your first time here, not Valentino, not Darius Gator, not Nelson Yee. Hey, if it's your first time here, drop a hashtag first timer in chat. Hashtag first timer in chat, please. We love welcoming our newcomers, and we have a special sound effect for you guys. We have a special emote for you guys. So don't sleep on that. All right, now really quickly, if you missed yesterday's episode, I want to remind everybody that basically we are piloting a new beta of running the actual news piece of it. So I curate the news. I did it. So yes, last night I curated the news. I've got the stories all lined up. I've pushed it to a podcast that I control, or the Simply Cyber community controls. The mods are involved, and yesterday was our first run, and we got a bunch of feedback. I've incorporated that feedback into the today's flow. So Callum, thank you, DJ Bisek. Callum is the voice. We've got intro, mid-roll, outro, and the stories have been curated by us. So again, please be part of helping shape the way that we do this going forward. Feel free to drop your feedback in chat, and we will take that and if it's constructive, we'll assimilate it into it. I see Sheesh. I see Sheesh as a first timer. Sheesh, welcome to the party, pal. Welcome to the party.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Good to see you, Sheesh. What's the news feed then? I like reading along. So hey, really quick, Phil Stafford. Oh, Zort Zeno, welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, pal.
So if you guys want to read along, go to Spotify. I'm pushing it everywhere, but basically go to Spotify. Actually, I'll do this for you right now, Phil Stafford. If you go to Spotify, and how do I share this episode? Here's a link directly to the episode. And basically, I know it's hard to see here, but basically for the episode itself, I have dropped just like literally just the links of each of the stories. So if you want, you can open the stories up and read along, okay? This is part of the process improvement. I will make communicating this easier for everybody, but right now, we have like a square, and we need it to be a circle. So yesterday we did some feedback, and now it's more of an octagon, but we still got a lot of shaving and fixing and process improvement before it's a full circle. So definitely give me feedback, y'all, because this is a community service. Like I'm up here doing all the hosting and stuff, but I do it for the community. I serve the community. So, and for newcomers like Sheesh and Zort Zeno, please just bear with us. You're more than welcome to be here. We love having you, but we're just kind of going through a little bit of a transition right now. So with that, do me a favor, y'all, sit back, relax, and let's let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over us in an awesome wave. I will see you guys in a mid-roll. Wait until you hear Callum, by the way. Callum is the voice selected by DJ BSEC. It's almost laughable. It's almost laughable how dramatic it is. You're about to get the most dramatic take on the news story ever. All right, let's go.
From Simply Cyber, this is today's cyber news, served piping hot and wicked fast. Let's get into it.
All right, James McQuiggan with the gifted subs.
Become best friends. Yep.
Thank you so much, gifted subs. James McQuiggan. Max of Zorro's a new member. Welcome to the party, pal. We see Mark Louderback getting in on the action. Maria Nell. Eric Taylor getting sponsored by James McQuiggan. That's good. Thank you, Eric Taylor, for becoming a sponsor. And thank you so much, James McQuiggan. Already, I like the Simply Cyber News. That a woman's voice saying piping hot and wicked fast. My Boston roots. Let's go.
British Columbia investigates government network cyber attacks.
Do you hear this guy's voice already? British Columbia. In a world where in a world where there's only one man who can save us.
The government of British Columbia is currently examining several cybersecurity incidents that have affected its networks. Premier David Eby confirmed that while there's no evidence of data theft, the full scope of the breaches remains under investigation. The incidents, described as sophisticated, prompted collaborations with the Canadian Centre for Cybersecurity to enhance safeguards. Details on the number of affected networks and the timeline of the attacks have not been disclosed. The Premier pledged transparency as the investigation progresses, promising updates to the public.
Oh my God, this guy's voice is brilliant. Brilliant, bro. I can't get enough of this. Thank you, DJ BSEC, for discovering this voice. It doesn't get better than this. Oh my God, this guy's voice and a cup of coffee and you're wired for the whole day. All right. So first off, I'm going to admit, I was like, British Columbia, isn't that Canada? But they're reading it like it's a country. And I'm like, oh my God, is there a country called British Columbia that I didn't know about? All right. So my Canadian friends in chat, how should we think of British Columbia? Should it be thought of as like a state in the United States? And like, it's like the state of British Columbia had their government networks attacked. Kind of curious, like how does the government of British Columbia map into like the overall Canadian federal government? Kind of crazy. Basically, it sounds like they were attacked. And it says there's no evidence they accessed or stole sensitive information. So, okay, good things here. If you work in Canada, if you work in federal IT, this is a great sign. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police are on it. They don't just ride horses. They straight up do cyber as well. They disclosed that a cyber attack targeted its networks and cautioned employees to remain vigilant. So their anti-money laundering agency was forced to take their corporate systems offline as well. So here's the thing. There isn't a lot of information here on exactly what was compromised. So this is an older attack right here. So really all the information of this current attack is up here. A federal government is, or, a statewide government is going to have a lot of attack surface. So you got to remember that, right? There's a couple. So here, this story, I can't really speak to this story because there isn't much detail here. But what I will say is it looks like two things. One, they detected a cyber attack and were able to respond swiftly. This is what real SecOps looks like. And oh, by the way, cyber resiliency. And to everybody at RSA who sent me screenshots of the cyber resiliency push, we're making progress, y'all, on mainstream penetration, on changing the term from cybersecurity to cyber resiliency, a low-key mission I have, that and making GRC socially acceptable. So they responded quickly. It said there was no evidence of data compromise, which again, brilliant. Maybe they're doing network segmentation. Maybe they're doing great data security management, like tokenization on databases, encryption, etc. So these are all good things. Also, low key, I will tell you that the very first thing that I thought of, and again, this is speculative hot take. So Zordzino and sheesh. Occasionally, I take liberties and just kind of go off the rails on a crazy train. So that is the tinfoil hat Jerry emote. I self disclose that I'm about to take a hot take. There's been lots of effort of Sissa Jen Easterly, Chris Wray from the FBI have spoke to Congress about, hey, China's out here deploying into SOHO or small office, home office, network devices, kind of staging just in case. Soon as I saw this, I thought, well, if there's no data going out, but there's a lot of attacks, potentially this is a more coordinated kind of Five Eyes building out kind of an attack forward landing party, basically, in the event of a thing. Because if it does come to a cyber World War III or whatever, Canada's obviously going to ally with the United States, like UK, Australia, the Five Eyes. They're all going to be tightly coupled, locked arms. It's going to be 300 at the Battle of Thermopylae. Everybody's going to have their shield locked and loaded, ready to go. So obviously, I would imagine that those allies, these Five Eyes, would be in scope for the same type of cyber pre-planning, pre-attacking. Again, I'm not suggesting that China is going to attack, okay? That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there's evidence of staging in United States network infrastructure, small home office, network devices. That's been, reported out. So when I saw this, that's the first thing I thought of. Anyways, the bigger picture for macro is SecOps can work. You can have a large attack surface, get attacked, and be able to respond accordingly and handle it. Sheesh. Oh my God. Chelsea Ray Waterhouse. Absolutely. I actually have I actually had a sound effect for a while. My son did with sheesh, but I'll look into getting it.
Dell alerts. Customers to major data breach. Affecting 49 million. Dell has issued warnings to its customers following a data breach that potentially impacts 49 million users. The breach targeted a Dell portal used for customer purchases, exposing names, physical addresses, and details related to hardware orders and warranties. Dell assures that financial and contact information was not compromised and has engaged law enforcement and forensic experts to address the breach. The stolen data appeared for sale on a hacker forum, signaling the severity of the exposure.
All right, so Dell got hit with this. A couple things. One, Dell says 49 million people, that's not good, right? First of all, that sucks. And then they say that this is a customer portal that got breached. They said it's limited type of data. And they said in the notification that it doesn't include contact data. However, when I look at the actual message from Dell, it includes name and physical address. Last time I checked, I can mail you a letter with your name and physical address. Again, threat actors, mailing snail mail doesn't scale very well, obviously. But if you wanted to do a targeted attack, a spear phishing attack, that could be something. If you had the name and physical address of CIO at business park address, well, now maybe you stick some malware on a USB device, label it up as whatever, Q3 patches or Siemens patch or whatever. There's ways to dupe someone into plugging a malicious USB drive in. Again, I do agree with Dell that the likelihood of this level of, rampant attack is probably unlikely, just because the sheer cost, both financial and time, to execute a physical kind of mail attack is limited. But if you're a highfalutin large whale type target, it could be not a good look for Dell. I know Eric Taylor was looking into this a little bit. Yeah. So, BSEC saying, why not address it to the CFO with Q1 accounts listed on the USB drive? There's a lot of ways to weaponize this. And don't think that malicious USB drives is like, buffer overflow, where it's like, oh, that used to be the way they did it back in the early 2000s. No. That still happens. In fact, I want to say DEF CON 2018, one of the researchers literally did that, like tested if this USB malware is still a legit attack, and they threw a bunch of USB devices into a corporate parking lot. And sure enough, a lot of people picked them up, went inside and plugged them in. So that's what's up. So anyways, if you have a Dell computer, look forward to getting your letter about how your, like right here, this is like such the playbook, in case you guys can't see it. Ready? Company, insert company name, takes privacy and confidentiality of your information seriously. Like, it's a token playbook. We take it seriously. We had a breach. 49 million people. That just sucks, man.
NICE framework enhancements to bolster cybersecurity workforce.
Yes.
The latest updates to the NICE framework, unveiled in March 2024, introduce significant improvements aimed at refining the cybersecurity workforce's structure and capabilities. This revision includes a new work role, 11 new competency areas, and overhauled task, knowledge, and skill (TKS) statements for better clarity and application. These changes, essential in managing the evolving cyber risks in today's digital world, support precise job descriptions, skills-based hiring, and career development across various sectors. The NICE framework continues to adapt, laying the groundwork for future enhancements to meet the dynamic needs of technology and cybersecurity.
In a world where there's one framework for workforce development, in a world of workforce development frameworks, one stands above the rest. The NICE framework. Dude, I love this guy's voice. I can't get enough of this guy's voice. Okay. All right, hold on. I'm downloading a sheesh sound effect, compliments of DJ BSEC. All right, so guys, here's the deal. The NICE framework, a couple things. One, NICE is under NIST. So if I heart NIST, there's an emote for that. If you guys didn't know, now you know. Oh, I heart NIST. I love it. Just short of getting it tattooed on my knuckles. So the NICE framework actually attempts to make a taxonomy of the different roles within cybersecurity and the different skills needed to execute those roles. And the larger picture here is this grand vision where, how like basically someone will say in chat, like, oh, I'm applying for an InfoSec analyst job. What do I do? And you're like, well, what does that mean? Like SOC analyst, GRC analyst, malware analyst, like, what are you talking about? The NICE framework is attempting to fundamentally identify distinct roles and map to what needs to do those roles, with the idea that workforce or corporate America or the world will adopt those roles. And then people who are going through education, whether it's undergraduate or you're going through Simply Cyber Academy or whatever, we can have a common language and say, hey, if you take this training or you do this lab, you will get these skills. These skills map like one-to-one into the NICE framework. So you can say, hey, I want to be a malware analyst, for example, right? What skills does a malware analyst need? You can go to the NICE framework, look it up. It would be objective. Then you can say, all right, I need these 5 skills. And then go out to market or go out to YouTube or go out to wherever and say, hey, where can what education, what training, what experiences will give me these 5 things? And that way you can, as an individual, for career development or pivoting into cyber, you as an individual can say, I'm targeting and doing exactly what I need to do to get the role. And then you can turn over to corporate America or, HR or whatever. And they're like, we're hiring for this position. And you're like, perfect. I have these 5 exact things, which is exactly what you're asking for. That is the grand vision of the NICE framework. Now, having said that, it's not perfect. I've done extensive review of the NICE framework. I actually had a phone call. I'm like 98% sure I had a phone call with this woman right here, Karen. I'm almost positive. I definitely had a phone call with one of the folks over at NICE to talk about this last year when I was doing my research. And the problem is a lot of the KSAs, the knowledge, skills, and abilities, a lot of them are vague. A lot of them apply to like all the roles. The roles, like a lot of the roles are a little generic. There's some overlap in the roles. So the version that I was reviewing definitely had a lot of room for improvement, but don't let progress get in the way of improvement. They told me that they were doing this update. It took them a little longer to complete than it was supposed to come out last summer, secretly. That was kind of the timeline, but obviously they got more feedback. Obviously, for me, I'm super pumped about this. I want to review this. This has potential to dramatically help us as an industry get people in the roles, get rid of these stupid unicorn positions where it's like, you've got like the role is for like security operations analyst and you have like 30 years of malware analysis and 25 years of CISO work. And it's like, those things don't align with each other. Like, what are you talking about? Like, this is what the goal is of this. So I'm super pumped about this. Obviously, as an educator, as someone who has courses and stuff, I love this because I'm going to be able to further refine down what exactly you're getting when you take my education. So I'll be reviewing this because I'd love to update the GRC Analyst Masterclass, Cyber 101, the other courses I'm working on to align with this framework because this is where we're going. And if you got any thoughts on this in chat, let me know because this is kind of a cool thing, man.
And now it's time for the mid-roll. Jerry, drop that sweet Simply Cyber Breakfast Club beat.
I will. Thank you. All right, guys. So far, so good. We're at the mid-roll. I hope you're enjoying the heck out of the show. I certainly am. A lot of fun. Again, if you're getting value from the stream, do me a solid. Hit that like button. Hit that like button on YouTube. And it's really not for like my vanity metrics. Like, ooh, look at all the likes I got. No, it's like literally so other people can find the channel, right? And basically be able to level themselves up as well. So pay it forward. If you're here, I don't know how you first timers got here. Zordzino and sheesh. Oh wait, that didn't work. Sheesh. Oh God, hold on. Here we go. This is the new sheesh on the soundboard. All right. I don't know how you guys found us, but maybe it's because yesterday everybody hit the like button. So go ahead, hit that like button. Let's go. Shout out to the stream sponsors ever. Barricade Cyber, Delete Me, and Antisyphon Training. Guys, Antisyphon Training, did you know that they're disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry by providing high-quality, cutting-edge education to everyone, regardless of financial position, right? So you can take their courses for $0, some of them. They offer their students the opportunity to learn practical skills, which is huge valuable, to practice what is taught, and more importantly, engage with a fun community. Next Monday, there might still be time. You can sign up for this course right here, John Strand's Active Defense and Cyber Deception, for $0. Check it out next week. And then the week after, John Strand's back again with SOC core skills. You could take 2 amazing courses in 2 weeks' time for $0. Don't listen, if we remove the financial barrier, then what? Either take action, take the initiative, go get the training, or, I know everybody's got life and stuff and things come up, but it's great training. It's free. They're trying to eliminate the barrier of financial goals. So then it just becomes a matter of, is it important to you to get the training, right? So that's what's up. All right, guys. Simply Cyber Community Challenge is at Is it FedEx who has the baton? Let me know in chat, FedEx, if you're the one with the baton. Simply Cyber Community Challenge is an opportunity for everyone to blow up their professional network. Go on LinkedIn and search for the hashtag Simply Cyber Community Challenge and connect with all the people posting and in the comments. Comment yourself. It's as easy as that. 5 minutes a day. I guarantee you, you will blow up your professional network. TLDR, go on LinkedIn, search for hashtag Simply Cyber Community Challenge and see what's going on there. We need one person to take the baton. Who wants the baton? FedEx has the baton. So do me a favor. If you want to blow up your professional network, raise your hand. It's very easy. It's not intimidating. Don't be shy. Take the Simply Cyber Community Challenge and just go online to LinkedIn, share your story, and put the hashtag Simply Cyber Community Challenge. All right? It's as easy as that. All right, every single day of the week has a special segment, and today is Grayson's Joke of the Week presented by James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet. Here we go. What happens when you wear a watch on a plane? James is always on a plane. I don't know, James. As an expert, what happens when you wear a watch on a plane? Time flies. Oh, boy. Grown. Hey, what do you call a time-traveling cow? What do you call a time-traveling cow? Dr. Moo? Oh. The food provided on the small aircraft between England and Europe wasn't very good. It was just a little plane. It was just a little plane. Food provided on the small aircraft from England to Europe, it wasn't good because it was a little plane. Oh, my God. La, 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 la. And final joke, where do crayons go on vacation? Jesse Johnson, where do crayons go on vacation? Colorado. Colorado. All right. Thank you so much, James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet for the jokes of the week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Settle in. We got the second half of the show to do. Jerry, drop that beat. I'm loving these AI people. Let's go.
Zscaler addresses breach rumors, confirms test environment exposure. Zscaler has responded to rumors of a system breach by confirming that an isolated test environment was exposed online and has since been taken offline for forensic analysis. Despite the allegations made by the threat actor Intel broker, Zscaler's investigation revealed no compromise of their customer or production environments. The exposed environment, which did not contain customer data and was unconnected to Zscaler's primary infrastructure, was identified and secured swiftly, assuring that no critical company operations were affected.
All right, so here's a good one. Zscaler, basically, they had a test environment that got exposed and compromised, potentially, and they took it offline. Guys, test environments you can take offline with very little impact. That's why it's a test environment, not a production environment. Not like Simply Cyber, where we test in production and get real-time feedback from everybody. See the daily news today. But this is a good effort. So let's take a step back and educate everyone on best practices and probably what happened here. I'm going to like low-key tinfoil hat this one. So when you work in corporate, environment and you have an external facing solution, right? Maybe it's a customer portal. Hey, Dell, saw you 49 million compromises. Maybe it's customer portal. Maybe it's some SaaS product. Maybe it's, a portal for Citrix for your staff to be able to remote in and use local apps and stuff like that. Whatever it is, there's a million options. Those environments need to be maintained, right? Patches, you got to patch it. You got to patch it. Right? So what happens is in a real environment, when you do it correctly, you have a dev environment, a test environment, and a production environment. Those three environments. And, it might be obvious, but just for everybody, development is where you work on stuff. Test is where you test it and verify that it works the way you expect it to work and there's no issues. And production is where your customers operate, where the business operates. And you go through those gates. You never go from dev to production. You never go from, that's it. you go from dev to test only and test to prod only. And typically at larger organizations, you'll actually control who has permissions to go from dev to test. And then it'll be a different person who can go from test to production, like a QA team or developers, basically. But in smaller environments, it's like YOLO, and Casually Joseph's just running with domain admin creds saying YOLO and going from directly dev to prod or just straight up developing in prod. I see you, Casually Joseph. All right. So anyways, what happened here, I have no question, is they did something in development, looked good. They pushed it to test environment. The test environment QA analyst was testing things, and likely in order to validate it, they needed to make it internet facing, which is still not a problem. My suspicion here is that there was a misconfiguration of some sort. Again, they're testing. So they're testing different use cases, right? What happens if I make it, if I toggle this? What happens if I do that? And likely a engineer misconfigured the test environment to be internet facing with some level of security deficiency. And a threat actor found it and exploited it and got it. And then they took the test environment down. Unfortunately, they detected it only when the threat actor went on dark web and started promoting that they had access to it, which, by the way, shout out to Zscaler. They may have been using a solution like Flare.io. I did a video for Flare recently. I don't know if you guys use Flare. I know some of you have been testing Flare like I was, but Flare actually allows you to aggregate dark web information and be able to search it really quickly. So I assume Zscaler wasn't actively scanning the dark web and discovered it. They probably had a solution like Flare that notified them that, hey, people on the dark web are talking about access to your environment. You should be aware of it. Again, test environment, there usually is not production data in a test environment. It's usually dummy data or, fake data. So low risk here, but it just goes to show you best practices still can have compromises, which is why it's cyber resiliency, not cybersecurity. Final thing I'll point out, I just want to emphasize, it doesn't say how long the test environment was internet facing before it got compromised. But if you've ever stood up a honeypot, on the internet, within 15 minutes, it's getting hammered, and not like spring break girls gone wild hammered, get knock, 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 knock. It's just relentless, and it's coming from all over the world. So just be aware that is really happening. Also, it's a fun little demonstration for the business side of the house to show them putting a honey. If you start a meeting and hey, what's up? I just want to give you this is kind of a fun thing. It's a little bit more involved, but something that is cool to do. Okay. Start a meeting, say 30-minute meeting. All right. You're going to be riding the lightning too, because this is a risk, but start a meeting, have a honeypot ready to go, and launch it at the beginning of the meeting. Just be hey, thanks for coming to the Information Security Awareness annual training or whatever. Real quick, I'm going to deploy this server on the internet right now while we talk, and have the big pew pew map up, right? Teapot is a great honeypot service that does this. Right? So put that up and then start educating and training and everything. And I guarantee you by the end of your session, you can point to the honeypot and show that it's getting, probed basically from Brazil, from China, from the United States, right? And services like Shodan and Census are legit services that will be doing the probing. But you'll also see threat actors probing port 3389, probing all these different 9001 VNC ports and stuff like that. And you can show them real time. Look, I started this 30 minutes ago and it's already getting hit. Okay. Yeah. I'm not going to go that far, BSEC. All right. So that's a fun little exercise to do.
University System of Georgia notifies 800,000 of data exposure in 2023 MOVID attack. The University System of Georgia, USG, is alerting 800,000 individuals about a data breach involving sensitive personal information following the 2023 Clop ransomware attacks on the Moveit file transfer system. The compromised data includes social security numbers, bank account details, and tax documents. USG, which encompasses 26 public colleges and universities, has been cooperating with the FBI and CISA to manage the fallout. Impacted individuals are being offered 12 months of identity protection services. This breach is part of a global campaign by the Clop Gang that affected thousands of organizations and millions of individuals worldwide.
All right. Guys, I'll be honest with you. We're going to keep using this guy's voice, but I am teetering on the edge of breaking because of this guy's delivery. This is so good. I'm absolutely going to use AI to generate a personified image of Callum. So we can have a face to go with this voice. This is out of control. All right. So University of Georgia, 800,000 exposed in 2023. So if you are working in higher ed, I guess you could use this as a FUD tool, a fear, uncertainty, doubt tool to drum up budget from your higher ed constituents. Here's the thing. This attack was the Moveit attack from the Clop ransomware gang. This attack, we haven't heard, Clop ransomware Moveit vulnerability was all the news over the summer. Literally every single day, it was another one. In fact, it was not the most unbelievable attack in 2023, but actually maybe it was. I'd have to remember when SolarWinds happened, but the key takeaway here is I think SolarWinds was December 2022. So sorry, I'm ADD over here. So this story is actually old. Now, what is interesting is, remember, Clop ransomware, they hit thousands of victims with this attack because that Moveit attack was easy to exploit. They obviously scripted it, and they were pulling all sorts of data. They got Sony, they got Fortune 500 companies, they got federal government, Department of Energy, all these things. And what I find interesting is that University of Georgia was actually working with hold on. Mod team and I are going to have to work together on this one, but actually, you know what? Maybe we'll come up with 4 identities and then have the community vote on it. Yeah, smoking a cigarette. So basically, this is old news. Honestly, I find it confusing why this is coming up now. It took a year for the FBI and CISA to help University of Georgia identify if their data was actually compromised. That's that's the part that's confusing to me. I don't know if anyone in chat has a thought on that. Why? We knew many of the victims and we knew them right away. Clop ransomware, they were inundated with basically data, and it was taking them a while to dig out. Think of Clop ransomware and the Moveit attack as storage wars. And they bought one of these storage containers with no idea what was in it. And then they opened it up and it was just thousands and thousands of folders full of data. So they were having to go through it and dig through it. But that's not the case here. It's not when I first saw this, I was oh, Clop ransomware must have come out and said, ooh, we got University of Georgia as well. So I'm actually kind of not disappointed, but University of Georgia's response capability seems kind of slow for them to do this. Absolutely sucks. They did their breach notification April 15th. I got to tell you, in the state of South Carolina, you have 72 hours to respond to victims of a PII data breach. So not quite 400 days later, like in the state of Georgia. But I digress. And if you're a SEC football fan and you want to dunk on Georgia, go ahead. I'm not. So you can get 12 months of identity theft protection. Go ahead. Throw it on the tire fire that is identity theft protection. So anyways, this story looks salacious, but really it's whatever. Oh yeah, that is actually pretty good. Chat, here we go. This is a first take on Callum. There we go. Look at this guy. Young, edgy, technical, but smoking a cigar. Let's see. Let's listen to his voice really quick.
Ascension Healthcare systems partially offline following cyber attack. Ascension, a major U.S. nonprofit healthcare provider, has taken critical systems offline after detecting a cybersecurity incident affecting its network. The organization, which operates 140 hospitals and 40 senior care facilities nationwide, is currently assessing the impact on its clinical operations. Ascension has activated its remediation plan and engaged Mandiant for forensic analysis.
Ooh, big.
Business partners have been advised to disconnect from Ascension systems as a precautionary measure. This disruption follows recent warnings from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services about increased social engineering attacks targeting healthcare IT systems.
So I'm looking at this right now. So this is another, like, this is on the level of Change Healthcare. So, all right. So hold on. Space Taco says it's out. So we also have this one. We have this one also, if you want. I poo-pooed this one, but we have something like this. If you're looking for younger, we got that. All right. So here's the deal. Give me just a second. I don't research or prepare for these stories, so I just want to get a little bit more information because this is actually a big story. Very big, actually. It doesn't say how they got impacted, like, or how they got compromised. Clinical operations. Okay. So we could see Natalie Sirianni, MD, on Twitter posting about real impacts. Couple things here. One, in the United States, the healthcare systems are, basically consolidating. So when you take one down, like Change Healthcare, it has a massive impact on, basically the social structure of delivering healthcare in the United States or whatever country you're in. Ascension Healthcare, never heard of them before, doesn't matter because they're the largest private healthcare system or one of them in the United States. They have 140 hospitals, 40 senior care facilities, 8,500 providers, 35,000 affiliated providers, $28 billion in revenue. Okay, so it's a big deal. It's a big D swinging, okay? They got hit. Change Healthcare got hit. Now remember, Change Healthcare, people couldn't get their medicine. I dropped an F-bomb on stream by accident a couple weeks ago relative to this. Clinical staff were not getting their paychecks, right? Again, you might be like, oh, boo-hoo. But guess what? I don't care if you're a physician making 500 grand a year or you're, a candy striper making 40,000 a year. A lot of people aren't prepared to go 6 weeks without a paycheck. Okay. I don't care who you are. Not getting paid is a real problem. So now it's impacting individuals. It's impacting patients. There was a story of a guy who died because he couldn't get his medicine. You could see here this Twitter cyber attack on largest hospital. No one knew where the forms were. Thank God we have basically, they say sign out with patient meds. Those are like downtime procedures. If you work in the clinical space, they practice downtime procedures because you do need to update the applications and technology with some regularity. So clinical staff do practice downtime procedures. Although here's a sleepy risk to be mindful of. A lot of nurses specifically are older and trained before tech became mainstream. And the newer staff who are coming through med school are being trained on tech and not necessarily downtime procedures. So when you are forced to go downtime, it's actually more impactful than you would think. And you can see here, Natalie says the EMR was completely down. That's the electronic medical record. That's where you document everything on the patient encounter. That's where you look up what allergies they might have or reactions to medicine, whatever, what medicine they've already taken that day. So this could be more impactful. Again, ransomware threat actors don't give a damn anymore. They are like the gloves are off as far as going into healthcare. And you could see here, Health and Human Services. This is a report right here. This is from, what's the date on this one? April 6th. So about a month ago. U.S. health departments warning hospitals of hackers targeting help desk. Okay? And they're basically calling and tricking help desk into resetting passwords and then enrolling a new device into multi-factor authentication. Meaning, hey, I got a new phone. Can you just enroll me? Sure, no problem. If you work in healthcare, this is an absolute listen up, take action. You need to share not just this story, but also this one right here. And I bet you the actual U.S. Health and Human Services probably has a link somewhere. Is this it right here? Is this it? Hold on one second. Yep. This is the actual document you need to send to your help desk supervisor, help desk people. April 3rd, official notification, social engineering attacks targeting IT help desk. If you're not already doing this, you're behind the curve. You need to tell your help desk that this is a real attack vector and it's really being done. And see Exhibit A, basically Health and Humans, this is Ascension Healthcare. This is the same attack, by the way. This is the same exact attack that we saw attack MGM Grand and Caesars resorts back over the summer, if you recall that. So, dude, you got to take action. All right, that's what's up.
Critical vulnerabilities found in F5. Next Central Manager, patch released. Security researchers at Eclipsium have identified 2 severe vulnerabilities in F5's Next Central Manager that could allow threat actors to gain full administrative control and establish hidden rogue administrator accounts. The flaws, identified as CVE 2024-20, 1793, and CVE 2024-26,026, both score 7.5 on the CVSS scale and involve SQL injection vulnerabilities exploitable remotely. F5 has patched these vulnerabilities in version 20, 2.0 of Next Central Manager. Users are urged to update their systems to this latest version to prevent potential exploitation, which could lead to unauthorized persistence and control over connected F5 assets.
All right, so this is interesting. So if you're running F5 Central Manager, okay, basically let your IT people know. Let your IT people know that hey, there's a major issue. We got to get it sorted out. If you're running F5 Central Manager, okay. What is crazy? So this is, hey, every kind of show has its own little vibe or its own theme. This is kind of crazy to me. So again, with the Georgia story, I didn't understand why this was why it took a year. It made no sense to me. Here's another thing that doesn't make any sense to me, okay? This can, basically remotely exploitable flaws, okay? And let's look at the infographic. Obviously, for infographics, this infographic doesn't get me all hot and bothered, but just for the sake of getting people used to the new sounder. Oh, yeah, look at this infographic. Give me some. Hello. Sexy. All right, so basically, this basic infographic, you can either do SQL injection or brute force attack on a UI, okay? So the user interface, the thing that you log into. Upgrading Jeff, asking for the speech to be increased. Potentially, we can do that. Brute force or SQL injection. This means that you can repeatedly do it on the account. You can do it from anywhere in the world, assuming that the login page is internet facing, and you can ultimately reset any password on any account, including admin accounts. And you can use an API that was undocumented, but it's clearly known now, to call any API method to create an invisible account, which then you can use to log in whenever you want. So to me, so that's really bad, which is why you got to get this sorted out. What's crazy to me is that they rank these as a 7.5 on the CVSS score. These don't sound like 7.5. These sound like 9.8s. You can create an admin account that's invisible hello, that means you can execute anything. So the CVSS score is a formula. So I'm actually kind of curious how, hold on. You can get to the bottom of it and figure out why the CVS score is what it is. Typically, come on, man. Where is, hold on. You got to go like 8 layers deep. I feel like Inception. Someone kick my chair back so I wake up. Okay, so here's how you get to calculate the CVSS score. Okay, I don't know if you can see it, but right here, this is where you this is how you calculate the score. So by doing this, I'm going to figure out what the heck's going on. All right, so the attack vector is the network. The complexity is low, no privilege, no user interaction, no scope, and it's high confidentiality. All day long, so the only thing I can think of is that you have to be on a local area network, and this F5 device manager is not internet facing. Look, give me 1 second really quickly, because I feel I'm looking at CVSS score attack vector options. Like, what are the options for attack vector? Come on. Where's the attack vector, bro? Yeah, no. Look, so attack vector. So, by the way, like, this is a little bit more, CVEs have a CVSS score, which implies how bad it really is. Now, that score is completely absent of like your environment or what data is on that server or whatever, but it gives you a good indication. Network means anywhere on the internet, okay? So I'm going to, hold on, I'm going to ride the lightning here and double down on my my beliefs here. And I'm going to actually do something kind of cray-cray. Give me a second. How do I, oh wait. I want to calculate this really quickly, because I'm calling shenanigans. I'm calling shenanigans right now. All right, so please allow me to do this live on stream, because I think something is amiss here, okay? It's the CVSS score 3, right? So let's do this. All right. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, news report. I smell shenanigans, okay? So let's do this really quickly, okay? Let's go. All right, so we're going to do network, which is what it is. Attack complexity is low, which means it's easier to do. No privileges, no user interaction, the scope is unchanged, confidentiality is high, integrity none, availability none, which I disagree with, by the way. If you get an admin account on a network device, you can shut it down like John Taffer all day long. All right, so let's see what the complexity score calculates out at. How do I computer, how do I calculate? It is a 7.5. Son of a gun. All right, maybe it's because the let me just up the integrity. Yeah, okay. So it's because they said that the integrity and availability would not be compromised. It is a 7.5. I don't know about you guys, but last time I checked, when you have an admin account, a shadow admin account, you basically nuke the box and rebuild it because you have no idea what has happened. Logs could be deleted, malicious fileless stuff put in place. So there you go. All right, let's roll, baby.
That does it for the daily cyber threat brief. Like Montel Jordan says, this is how we do it. Take it away, Jerry.
All right. Well, thank you, AI reporter. So thus concludes Friday, May 10th, Daily Cyber Threat Brief. This has been episode 619. Guys, let me know what you thought. We're going to pivot over to jawjacking for a hot minute, but that was the beta 2.0 of the Simply Cyber today's Cyber News Fast, which is what I'm calling the podcast. Exactly. All right, guys. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. I hope you guys got value. Hit the like button on your way out. Tell Nick Barker we almost nailed it right on time. Space Tacos, I will explain the CVSS score in just a minute, okay? If you got to get out of here, I understand. Have a great weekend, everybody. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Until next time, stay secure. But we're going to be doing jaw jacking, so stay tuned. You're going to love the next 30 minutes. I'm going to launch by explaining CVSS scores and what you need to know about them. Let's go. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Callum's friend, Jerry Guy, coming hot at you with the cybersecurity Ask Me Anything 30-minute segment called Jaw Jacking, where we're going to answer any and all questions that you have about cybersecurity, coming hot off the heels of the newly refreshed daily cyber threat brief with that nerd, Dr. Gerald Auger. We got a new sound effect on the board. We got a sheesh. We got sexy sax. All right. Hope you guys are excited. So right out the gate, we got a question about CVSS scores. By the way, please drop your thoughts, feedback, constructive, anything in chat about the, this project that we're working on of creating our own news podcast with Callum, the AI, the news stories, the delivery, everything. I made it a little bit more optimized. Oh, shout out to the Simply Cyber community. You guys donated close to $300 yesterday, and I posted it on Discord so y'all could see it. But I went out and procured 11 Labs, a year-long license, which allowed me to make the stories much faster. Appreciate that. Thank you. The next phase is once we settle in on kind of format and everything, I'm going to automate. I'm going to write a script for API calls to push to 11 Labs to generate this, the audio, then API calls to generate ChatGPT to run things. And then we're just going to slowly automate everything. Hey, who wants the baton? Let me know in chat. Okay. So let's do this really quickly. So Space Tacos asked, what is CVSS scores and what is it? Okay. So really quickly, when we talk about a vulnerability, right? Here's this vulnerability, CVE 2024-21793, right? Before we talk about CVSS scores, we need to, thank you, Reed Hurlbert. Because in order to appreciate CVSS scores, we got to talk about CVEs. So someone discovers a bug somewhere and a vendor agrees it's a bug and they're going to release a patch. It gets captured as a CVE or common vulnerability. What's the E stand for? Enumeration? I think so. So anyways, it can be for any piece of technology, a CVE. Now, the naming convention is CVE-year it was discovered or disclosed, and then a unique identifier. Now, this unique identifier does not mean that this is the 21,793rd vulnerability discovered in 2024, okay? The larger organizations, your Microsofts, your Fortune 500 companies that are tech companies, they get blocks of numbers. Okay, so they can automatically just enumerate themselves. And then there's like a wildcard bunch if you're like some small open source software or something. But this number is a unique identifier. Okay, so that's the first thing you gotta know. Okay, now when we talk about how bad is this, okay, not all CVEs are created equal. Maybe you have to be physically on the machine and it doesn't really make a big deal, but it's still a bug. Maybe it's the move it vulnerability that was like actively exploited and can lead to terrible, terrible things. So we need to, as practitioners, communicate on what is bad. How bad is it? Now, remember, the level of bad that we calculate with the calculator in the score is only objective. It doesn't take into account, is this actively being exploited? Is it on a server that is really, really important for your mission, or is it on a lab machine in my environment, right? Two different criticality scores, but the criticality is there to help inform you on whether you need to take action now or you can wait till your patch window. There are 3 different scoring mechanisms right now. You only see 2 here, CVSS 2 and 3. There is a 4, which is out, but people aren't really using it yet. CVSS score 4, version 4 is awesome, but it's almost like IPv6. Like, it's better than the predecessor, but no one is using it for some odd reason. I digress. Hold on, John just got a new cybersecurity job. John, coming at you, bro. Yes, sir. Nice. Nice. I love it. Okay, so really quickly, when you calculate a CVSS score, we have to take into a bunch of things. What is the attack vector, right? Do you have to physically be at the box? Do you have to be on the local area network? Can you be on the internet, right? Obviously, the further away from the machine, the easier, like the more people there are going to attack it. Attack complexity. Is this like a row hammer attack where you have to be like a nation state level threat actor, or can anybody and their cousin attack this thing? Attack complexity. The higher the attack complexity, the lower the vulnerability score, because less people are likely to hit it. This combination right here is not good. The internet and literally anyone can do it. Privilege is required. Do you have to have a local access account already, and then you need to or do you have to have an admin account, right? So maybe you attack the box, but you haven't leveled up your permissions yet. Not a big deal. Does it require user interaction, right? We talk about Pegasus spyware on Apple devices called no-click interaction, right? So if you need a user to click on something, that levels the complexity because there's a chance there for the victim to intervene and stop and say, hey, this doesn't feel right. Okay? Like social engineering, phishing attacks, they require user interaction, right? I don't know what scope is. But CIA, these are our classic security objectives. If you've worked in cybersecurity for a minute, you should know the CIA triad. So based on those scores, Space Tacos, you fill it out and then you get a base score. And then based on, maybe there's a POC that comes out for exploitation that would increase the criticality. Maybe it's actively being exploited in the wild. That would increase the criticality, etc. All right. Thank you for the question. Let's go. We got a couple things here. Yeah. Hey, BSEC is saying, explain to me how an unauthenticated SQL injection gives me admin access is not a 9, 8 to 10. I agree 100%, BSEC. And by the way, can I just point out, this is why you should attend the daily cyber threat brief, because you might be on your own and read about this and be like, oh, a 7.5, no big deal. But I'm telling you, this is inaccurate. This needs to be a higher criticality, and you should take this to your IT staff immediately. And don't even tell them about the 7.5 score. Just tell them, hey, listen, it requires unauthenticated admin access, period, full stop. All right. So we're sprinkling in questions. If anybody has feedback on the daily cyber threat brief, the changes we're making, drop those in chat as well. All right. So some people, hold on. Let me run a poll here. Callum was the voice of the guy that ran the stories. I'm just going to say, did you like Callum's voice for the news? Simple yes or no question. Jesse Johnson in chat is saying that people were distracted by Callum's voice. I personally loved Callum's voice. I want to vote yes, but I can't vote in the poll. But we can explore it. We do need a persona for Callum, so maybe we'll look at that a little bit. Let's see, looking at chat here. All All right, looking at chat. Love the changes. I sent you a LinkedIn voice to check out. Flakinator. Okay. David B says the guy's voice is scary and creepy. British lady's so much less cringe. Maybe cringe. Having trouble finding a job in IT, let alone cyber. I'm trying to get into cyber defense. Do you have any tips? Jamin 19920. Network. Develop practical skills. Contribute into a community. Document what you're doing and what is the actual impact and skills you're learning. Not that you completed a try hack me room, but like you understand SQL injection or whatever. So let's see. Doug Elsner says the voice is distracting. 70% saying they like the voice. Carrie, you got to be less self-deprecating. Any tips on recorded interview videos? Yeah, standard stuff, upgrading, Jeff. Make sure that you got a clean background. Make sure that you're dialed in and focused. I would actually, if I was going to do a recorded interview, not to say it's cheating, but dude, I have a teleprompter right now, right? So I'm looking at you right now, but I'm also looking at a web page. So I could be like, I'm not suggesting you cheat, okay? So I would not like open ChatGPT and be like, explain SQL injection, okay? I wouldn't do this per se, but like, hey, candidate, explain SQL injection. And then I could like just look at you while reading and go, SQL injection is a type of security vulnerability that allows an attacker to interfere with the queries that an application makes to a database. It involves inserting or injecting malicious SQL code. Like, so you could cheat that way. But what I would recommend is, if you're going to get a teleprompter, this is like next level stuff, but I would recommend putting your own resume right in front of you. Sometimes when you're in the moment, you get a little distracted. You might forget about some of the amazing things you've done. Nerman with the super chat. Thank you, Nerman.
We just become best friends. Yep.
So that's a tip right there. Obviously, be ready. Make sure you've tested your audio, your video. Make sure that you're early, a couple minutes early, just in case, etc. 70% like the voice. Okay. All right, so Angular says, likes Callum, but can't listen to it for a week. Randoc Gaming, yes, we're absolutely meeting up. We'll meet up Friday of the DEF CON week. Probably at Abel Baker Brewing, although I'll look to CJ, Christina, and Carlos for insights, but I would love to go back to Abel Baker Brewing. I thought that place was cool. This is how the market is okay, so let's keep going. Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in, if people want to check out their voices, we could certainly mess with it. I like Callum, but looks like 70% like Callum, so I'm going to end the poll. Let's say this. We'll keep Callum in the running, okay? So upgrading Jeff, I don't know if I want to flip-flop. I could see like monthly speakers, but I do want some continuity and consistency for the show. So when people hear it, they know it's our show, right? Okay. Yep. All right. What is a database tokenization? Julie Pount. So fun story. I got asked this question for a cyber architect job for a massive Fortune 20 company, and I didn't know the answer. And I was like, oh, so like I went and like researched afterwards because I felt like a donkey for not knowing the answer. Data tokenization. So like when you're accessing sensitive data in a database, like imagine like, I don't know, a database of from like one of the major credit bureaus like Equifax, Experian, etc. When they reach in and touch like Julie Plount's credit history or something like that, you don't want them to be able to access directly into the database. In case there's ever a compromise, you don't want a threat actor to access directly into the database. So what you do is you get you take the data, and there's like a a middle step where the data gets tokenized and you're able to access the token, which is a token of the data. So it's basically a way to manage the risk of database security compromises by having this middle layer where the data is tokenized and you only get access to the token. So it's like an access control on database data. All right. What else we got? That camera has to be rock steady and you need a microphone next to your mouth. The background needs to be darker than your face. Oh, Varden's given tips on job interviews, remote job interviews. Very nice. What are some good computer monitors to get for a home lab? Jazzy Jazz asks. You know, I mean, personally, like I've used Dell monitors and been very happy with them. I actually have a Dell, like, I don't know, 37 inch up here for my production monitor. And I've got a Dell, like 40 inch curved monitor. And honestly, just, I know that this is like, oh, first world problem, but I wish I gotten a 50 inch or 60 inch curved monitor. Like now that I have one, I want my whole desk to be a curved monitor. But personally, you know, to me, Jazzy Jazz, large monitors and maybe like, so I'd rather have two 37 inch monitors instead of three monitors that equal 74 inches of screen space. The more, the better, like as far as screen size. And if you can, smaller resolution so you can fit more stuff on your monitors. Nice job, Valinov. Get it, get it, get it. Flakinator has older Dells that you use at home. Yeah, exactly. So Flakinator, I agree. Like, dude, I've used Dell monitors for years. I've had very little issue with them. Very little issue. Varden's dropping all sorts of good intel. Yeah, so like to Varden's point, like look at how I am framed in the picture. A lot of people who don't know will frame themselves like right here, dead center. You should kind of like fill the screen. Oh my God. Yeah, I definitely would go with more than one monitor if you can. Although I will say for years, I was a consultant, like living on a plane, eating in restaurants all the time. And I would only use one laptop. And that was my thing. Although, let me tell you this. This is a pro tip. I actually got this pro tip from James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet. When I saw James, like, so a couple years ago, I met James McQuiggan for the first time at Black Hat. And without getting weird, I went back to his room at some point. Okay, so like Team SC, calm yourself. This is a preemptive calm yourself. So I go back to James McQuiggan's room after having just met him. And I see his like battle station that he has set up. And he's got like 3 monitors. Like if you get a chance, see James McQuiggan's setup for travel. He posts it on Discord from time to time. But anyways, I was inspired. So actually I travel with the mobile studio, but I actually have this massive, this is probably what, like 17 inch monitor. It just goes USB-C in the side. It's got this little protective cover. It's got a protective cover, which also doubles as the stand. And I love this thing. Like it's a game changer for travel, and it's like wicked thin, so it travels nicely. Definitely worth investing in that. Yeah. CJ, LOL. Yeah, James McQuiggan's like, Jerry, does this smell like chloroform? No. No, James and I became real fast friends, and we actually went to like a party together, and we just had to stop by his room so he could pick something up. Very innocent. Dr. Shakor Power, on behalf of SecureClaw Inc., I'm really thankful to CXO experts and the SME venture team for interviewing me about the new way of cybersecurity small businesses. All right. Good job, Shakar. Love it. Jerry guy went back to James McQuiggan's room and they talked NIST and wrote dad jokes. That's right. That's right. Glossmetric Global. I understand the living out of a suitcase lifestyle. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like a young person's game. Once you have a family, once you start laying roots down, the ideal of travel doesn't really appeal. Plus, by the way, can I just share with everybody? Here's another, occasionally I like to give you knowledge that you'll never read in a textbook. You'll never learn unless you experience it or someone tells you. Young in your career, travel, and you get a ton of experience. It's awesome. And there's a reason why the older people, like I said, with roots and family, don't want to travel, right? So there's more opportunities. However, this is something you'll never read. And I'm telling you, just to let you know, this is a fact. Okay. And if you agree with me, #preach in chat. When you travel for work, it's very uncommon for you to actually get to enjoy where you're traveling. So your family's like, oh my God, you went to Prague? Oh my God, you went to Santiago, Chile? Oh my God, you went to Denver, Colorado? And it's like, yeah, but guess what? The Marriott in Denver and the Marriott in Prague look the same. Guess what? The nondescript office building with a nondescript conference room in Prague looks the same as it does in Santiago, Chile. And that's where you're spending 98% of your time. Occasionally you can get out and sample the local, lifestyle or cuisine, but you're not going on vacation to Prague. You're working your tail off because you're only there for a set amount of days and you've got to get the work done while you're there. That's the priority. So people are always wooed by oh my God, look where you get to go. And you're like, yeah, but not really. One exception, I did go to Antarctica several times and you basically live there. And that was super dope, right? Absolutely super dope. Of course, in Antarctica, you don't really need to go anywhere to travel. Basically there are these little bases. So you're not really going anywhere crazy, but yeah, no. So, hey, Justin Gold, and not to crap on JMod.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
But having monitors are so hot. I would definitely recommend getting one huge monitor, but you've got to have more than one, right? One huge monitor is cool, but for me, I need this other monitor. No doubt. No diggity. Gina Ganny says, are you using AI to read the news or have folks around helping do that? So for the daily cyber threat brief, I feed it into, so the workflow is, and Gina, let me know if this is true. But the workflow is I go find a bunch of stories, right? I have a Telegram for the Simply Cyber community. So I find a bunch of stories, then I take them, I wrote a custom ChatGPT bot that can actually synthesize the stories to be able to report on in a succinct way, in a way that I like. So I programmed a custom ChatGPT. I feed the stories in a custom ChatGPT. It spits out what I want the story to be, and then I send it to 11 Labs, and it cranks that out. Then I assemble it all, and then I push it to a podcast on Spotify, and then I pull the podcast down. It's completely a lot of work, but it's cool. Really quickly, just for fun, let me make sure there's nothing in here sensitive that I don't want to share with y'all. Okay, so check it out. You ready? Real quick. Because Phil Stafford's like, what? Look at Phil. This is me going to South Pole. I've been to Antarctica 3 times. I've been awarded the Antarctic Service Medal. I just don't have it hanging up because, I'm terrible about promotion or whatever. But this is Christchurch, New Zealand, where you leave to go to McMurdo. Here's the super plane I flew on. There's Jerry guy. Here's me landing in Antarctica. The runway you land on is made of 8 feet of ice over the Ross Sea. Okay. Check it out. Here we go. Let me see if I can, here's us flying to the South Pole. This is no joke. I don't know how on earth, they did this in the early 1900s, like on a dog sled. Like, this is incredibly terrain. It's like a mountain range down here. Okay. Now, I also want to point out, I'm in the cockpit. That's another thing. It's not like a commercial jet. Like, I was up in the cockpit hanging out. Look at how terrain Antarctica is. This is not for the lighthearted. So, finally, yeah, there's me. You can stand up on the plane. Got your bib overalls, being a cool dude. But yeah, here's me at the South Pole. Right? That's me on the left. This is me. That's the South Pole. It's very cool. And then, just to give you perspective, this is the temperature at the South Pole at the time I was there. Negative 56 degrees with the wind chill. Nasty, dude. And then here's my favorite picture. This is me. I'm literally in every time zone at the same exact time. This is the actual South Pole, the real South Pole. And I'm sitting around it in every time zone. All right. Well, thank you for allowing me to share that with you. Little Tidbits Tuesday. And guess what? You know why I went to the South Pole? GRC. Very cool. All right. What other questions can I help people with? Let's see. Oh, hey, let's talk about, so Jesse, can I share your guests for Slay Security Plus, or should we leave that as a tease for people? Oh, Pop Rocks? Pop Rocks? I mean, that doesn't really engage with the Boston accent. Like Beers, that's where that is. So SAQ is screaming, please read my comment. Let's see what SAQ wants to say. What do you recommend to use as a personal ChatGPT local AI that can work with low CPU power? So when you say local, I haven't stood up my own local instances. I would say that SAQ, the one thing I have used that might be good here is Google Notebooks. Look, Google Notebooks. That is a local instance. What is it? Oh, Notebook LM. Google Notebook. Hold on one second. Let me find this for you. Google Notebook LM. Yeah. So this is it right here. It's notebooklm.google. Okay. This is actually pretty cool. I have played with this. It's very cool. It is very localized instance, and it's a web browser based, so you can absolutely do that locally. I mean, on your low CPU power. All right, let's go. All right. Hey, so next week, just a reminder if you go to simplycyber.io, and scroll down to the calendar. So I'm on simplycyber.io right now. If you scroll down to the calendar, you can see the week of events. Every Thursday, Slay Security Plus is helping live stream and do cool things, and they always have guests. Next week's special guest is a really, really well-known, super popular YouTuber and just a great member of the cybersecurity community. All of you know who he is. You're going to be surprised. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. So definitely mark your calendars for next week. Simply or Slay Security Plus. Yeah, Carrie, there's a lot of questions. I'm trying to get to them all, but it doesn't mean that you're getting dunked on or anything. I grew up in Cali. There we go. Let's see. How can I be on the next trip to the South Pole? LOL. Carmel Drip, I'll tell you what, if you want to get to the South Pole, all you got to do, if you live in Denver, it's even easier. Look up NSF USAP, NSF USAP, and get in with there. They're constantly sending IT people down there. Rusty Ryan with the squad membership. Thanks, Rusty. All right, 2 more minutes, and then I got to boogie out of here. Phil Stafford, saw the picture with you and Jax at RSA. Very cool. Yeah. Actually, you know, it's funny. I never thought about it, but like, you know, when I was sitting in every time zone, that was like Worldwide Wednesday to the next level. I'm scrolling through chat right now to see like what questions there are, right? All right, so I don't see, I see people preaching about the work travel. I don't know. There's a lot of chat. So like if you asked a question and I didn't get to it, then it doesn't mean that I am ignoring it. It means that I don't see it. And you know, chat is a stream. All right. Jose Alfredo definitely need to join Slay Security Plus. It's all about good times. Oh, thanks, Phil. Jack, I was texting with Jax yesterday. Super cool. Oh, yeah. No, Flakinator, please tell your daughter that bingo is on the first Friday of the month. First Friday of the month. Hey, and reminder, ooh, this is like one cool thing to share with everybody before we boogie out of here. Great way to kick off the weekend. Hold on. So really quickly, everybody. Whoops. Don't think that I forgot. I'm actively doing the coloring here, and I've got the coloring contests. So I'm basically not going to just throw this out there. I'm actually trying to do this in a cool way. So stay tuned. But these different coloring for the coloring contest. This is for the kids. One more alert with the unicorn. We got a like more complicated one, CISP learning resources, right? These have been permitted for us to color. Also, there's a girls in cyber coloring book, which you'll see here, right? So I'm putting this together, guys. Just know I mentioned the coloring contest the other day. It's coming together. Just bear with me as we get it sorted out. All right, guys. Nice, Flakinator. Start him young. Get him up in the cyberspaces. Dream Logic asking how I'm doing today. I'm doing good. CJ, I haven't even launched the coloring contest yet because what I want to do is I want to announce the contest. I want to give clear start and end dates. I want to give clear direction on how to submit an answer. I want to give clear direction on what the groups are. I'm thinking there will be like, ages 0 to 6, 7 to 10 to 12. Like I want to do it right. I don't want to just like puke out, hey, we're doing a color contest and then not really care, right? I can't do things half-butt. Sorry. Jose Alfredo, I haven't used Microsoft Copilot yet, which is funny because it's like built into Windows operating system now. ChatGPT was first to market. They locked it in. Honestly, hey, you know what, CJ? The coloring contest might be June. It might be June. Maybe we'll call it like summer break cybersecurity coloring contest. Kind of line it up that way. That should give me enough time to get it sorted out. All right, guys. Justin Rower, that unicorn did say that. So, all right, guys. I'm going to boogie out of here. I'll look into the voices, but honestly, Monday might be a Callum voice again, just because 70% of you liked it. Michael Annam, probably James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet. I will probably do Callum, but we'll look into other voices. We'll sort it out. Again, any feedback, constructive feedback, let me know. And we can dig into that. All right. Thank you, everybody. Borderline Behemoth, INE certs. I don't know. I know they're JP Junior PNPT. Junior one is okay, but I haven't really heard much in the space around INE certs, so I can't really speak to that. All right. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Happy Mother's Day. Be well. And until next time, stay secure. Thank you, mods. As always, love the mod team. Thank you, mods. Let me throw some mod love out there. All right, guys. Hashtag Team SC. See ya. Content. Keep the cybersecurity train going by connecting with the other Simply Cyber community resources. We have the Discord server that's lively and always keeps the conversation going. You can connect with me directly on LinkedIn. And also every single weekday morning on the Simply Cyber channel, we're doing live daily cyber threat briefings, 8 a.m. Eastern time, as well as Thursday at 4:30 p.m. We're doing live stream interviews with industry experts, and we produce videos that we push out every Wednesday morning. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. I hope you enjoyed the content, and we'll see you in the next one.